Yo, what's crackin', hoopheads? Welcome back to the epitome of basketball mayhem. Today, we're about to ignite a firestorm of controversy as we plunge into the untamed realm of the most disrespectful players to ever set foot on the NBA hardwood. Buckle up for an explosive spectacle of trash talking, grimy grabbing, and brawny brawling. First up on the menu of destruction at number 20, we have the relentless Dillon Brooks. A self-proclaimed shot-swatting beast with a mouth as fiery as the sun. This dude's offensive game may need a boost, but his off-court troubles and spicy altercations have crowned him the NBA's most hated. From a groin shot on King James to wrecking Gary Payton II with a wicked hard foul, Brooks brings the heat and controversy wherever he roams the hardwood. From the abrasive assault of Dillon Brooks to the drab depths of Karl Malone, we're about to witness a switch from intensity to controversy. In terms of disrespect, Malone's got a rap sheet as long as Wemby's wingspan. In the 90s, he had the NBA world in a frenzy. Even as a slam dunk contest judge this year, Malone couldn't dodge the hate. Let's switch gears from drama to diesel. When it comes to disrespect, Shaq is ready for anybody. Back in '99, he unleashed pure devastation on Chris Dudley, straight posterizing him with a monstrous slam and then sent the Knicks center crashing to the ground. After winning a title with Miami in 2006, he took a shot at Kobe Bryant, telling him to tell me how my ass tastes. Talk about disrespect.
Kobe, tell me how my ass tastes.
Next up, we have Chris Paul, the maestro of malfeasance. With lightning fast handles and pinpoint passes, he toys with opponents like a puppet master. From ankle-breaking crossovers to cheeky gestures, CP3's style exudes arrogance and leaves rivals humbled. Whether he's subtly grabbing his opponent or getting under their skin with relentless trash talk, Chris Paul's brand of disrespect is an art form that has drawn the ire of just about everyone. Speaking of people CP3 has pissed off, we have to talk about the enigmatic Pat Bev. This ball-hawking warrior has no chill, unleashing a storm of trash talk and mind games on the court. From explosive TV takedowns of rivals to flexing his knowledge in interviews, Beverly knows how to push buttons and get in opponents' heads. Love him or hate him, this feisty guard proves that being annoying and disrespectful is all part of his game plan. Just ask Kevin Durant. Okay, let's talk Trae Young, who hands down is the epitome of a swagger-filled baller who oozes disrespect on the NBA hardwood. His killer crossovers, ankle-breaking handles, and limitless shooting range make him a nightmare for defenders. The way he pulls up from deep, taunts his opponents with a shoulder shimmy, and drops buckets with a smirk on his face is straight up cold-blooded. They call him Ice Trae for a reason. Critics might call it disrespectful, but to me, it's just part of the game. Trash talking didn't begin recently though, because even in the 80s, Charles Oakley, the undisputed bad boy of the NBA, was taking disrespect to a whole new level. With a gritty style and a fiery attitude, he made opponents tremble in their sneakers. Oakley didn't just play the game, he brought the heat, leaving a trail of shattered egos in his wake. From throwing down with Karl Malone and Charles Barkley to dropping the hammer on Tyrone Hill and Jeff McInnes, Oakley showed zero chill. Disrespect? That was just his middle name. Next on our list is Devin Booker, the living embodiment of disrespect. Book ain't just a baller, he's a trash talker from opening tip to final whistle, which was confirmed by The Athletic this year, naming Booker the number 4 trash talker in the league. Just ask Joel Embiid and Luka Doncic about Book's legendary trash talk. But he's not all mouth. He's got that killer instinct, creating his own shot and showing up in crunch time to deliver dagger jumpers from all over the court. Booker's scoring game is a non-stop reminder that he's here to clown on defenders. If Booker has a master's in clowning, then Sean Kemp has his PhD. The Rain Man soared through the air with unmatched power and authority. His high-flying dunks were a display of pure disrespect as he elevated above defenders and unleashed thunderous slams. Kemp's rim-rocking finishes became iconic moments of humiliation for those unfortunate enough to be on the receiving end, like Alton Lister. His aerial assaults showcased his physical dominance and solidified his status as one of the most disrespectful dunkers in NBA history. Let's talk about Rasheed Wallace. The outspoken enforcer never shied away from confrontation or trash talk. His fiery demeanor and relentless competitive spirit made him a walking embodiment of disrespect. Wallace would taunt his opponents, challenge referees, and never hold back his emotions. His willingness to speak his mind and get under the skin of his opponents added a psychological edge to his game. Wallace's unapologetic approach earned him a reputation as one of the most disrespectful players in the league. Get ready, folks, things are about to get even crazier because the next 10 guys are the most disrespectful players in NBA history. Brace yourself because we're talking about Big Shot Bob, the epitome of disrespect, Robert Horry. When the game hangs in the balance, Horry emerges like a vengeful spirit, hell-bent on crushing the dreams of opponents. With a glint of malice in his eyes, he thrives under pressure, delivering daggers that pierce the hearts of rival fans. His icy veins and unwavering confidence mock the very essence of sportsmanship. Horry's cold-blooded shots are a calculated act of disrespect, leaving opponents shattered and questioning their own worth. At number 9, we have Luka Doncic. Because while Book is a master trash talker, this kid didn't need to say a word to make his point to the Suns in the 2022 playoffs. With the strength of a bull and the finesse of a magician, he annihilates defenders with a style brilliantly mixing old school footwork with new school spacing. His deceptive moves and raw power leave opponents helpless and questioning their very existence. He might have had a down year in 2023, but don't forget, things are getting pretty intense here, but let's crank things up another notch with the only player named Rookie of the Year, Most Valuable Player, Finals MVP, All-Star MVP, Coach of the Year, and Executive of the Year. It's none other than Larry Legend. He orchestrated his own symphony of disrespect on the court. Bird toyed with opponents like a cat with a mouse. He was so confident in his game, he played an entire game shooting only with his offhand. His fearless exploits and taunting swagger were constant reminders of his utter disrespect for anyone who dared to stand in his way. In the 70s and 80s, even Larry couldn't touch our next guy in the countdown. We were talking about Bill Big Red Walton. It was in the paint where Walton's audacity knew no bounds. He swatted shots like a stone-cold swatter, sending them into the shadow realm. With a ferocity that screamed disrespect, he snatched rebounds with a hunger that devoured opponents' pride. Walton's game was a rebellious act, defying the norms and leaving rivals in a state of utter disarray, lost in the mystical aura of his magical prowess. At number 6, we have Walton's protege. Dennis Rodman single-handedly unleashed chaos wherever he stepped foot. With a relentless and aggressive playing style, he tore through opponents like a force of nature, leaving them in a state of frustration and powerlessness. His trash talk and mind games pushed rivals to their breaking point, as Dennis the Menace taunted and toyed with them mercilessly. His flamboyant personality and outrageous fashion choices added fuel to the fire, intensifying the level of disrespect he exuded. Rick Mahorn bulldozed his way into NBA history with his relentless physicality and aggressive style. As a vital member of the notorious Detroit Pistons Bad Boys crew, he struck fear into the hearts of his opponents, bringing a whole new meaning to the term in-your-face basketball. Mahorn's bone-crushing screens and body-slamming moves left rivals dazed and confused, questioning their life choices. His tenacious defense and readiness to throw down in confrontations made it clear that he played by his own rules. Kevin Garnett is one of the most audacious players in NBA history. His trash-talking game reached legendary status, leaving opponents battered and broken. From reducing Big Baby Davis to tears with brutal insults, to delivering cutting remarks to Tim Duncan and Charlie Villanueva, Garnett's verbal assaults knew no bounds. He even crossed boundaries, taunting Carmelo Anthony about his wife. Garnett's trash talk was a weapon, disrupting opponents' focus and rattling their confidence. Yet, his disrespect wasn't limited to his words. He backed it up with an all-around game, showcasing shooting, passing, rebounding, and a relentless competitive spirit. Blocking shots after a whistle was the cherry on top, a final act of disrespect. Alright gang, we are in the top 3. Any ideas on who's next? No need to wait. At number 3, we have Kobe Bean Bryant, whose fiery trash talk and intense playing style placed him in the upper echelon of disrespectful players in NBA history. Remember the time he drove right through Pau Gasol? They were teammates in LA. But when Spain and USA faced off in the 2008 Olympics, Mamba mentality took over. Described as the ultimate competitor in the mold of Michael Jordan, Kobe's insatiable hunger for perfection sometimes ruffled feathers among teammates and coaches alike. Shaq might have gotten the first laugh, but Kobe laughed last, securing 5 championships to the Diesel's measly 4.
Game. Blouses.
When talking about the most disrespectful player in the league right now, Draymond Green is probably at the top of the list. He is the ultimate agitator and thrives on pushing opponents' buttons. His competitive callousness is endless, and even teammates can get the smoke. Just ask Jordan Poole. Last summer, Green got so fired in practice that he tried to rearrange Poole's face. He brings the competitive fire at all times. Draymond's coach knows exactly what it's like to get punched by a teammate. That's right, folks. At number 1, Michael Jordan stands peerless as a trash talker and gamesmanship manipulator in NBA history. MJ was so audacious, he punched Steve Kerr in practice over a simple disagreement. He was a fierce competitor, and he once shot and made a free throw with his eyes closed in an NBA game. He once dunked and then wagged his finger at Mount Mutombo. The dude dunked on the entire Knicks franchise in the 90s. John Starks, Patrick Ewing, and Charles Oakley all were witnesses to Jordan's disrespectful hang time. Even card games with his airness were legendary, and the Bulls' rookies and newcomers were called Mike, taking everything from them at the table. We can debate whether he's the greatest player of all time, but he is certainly the most disrespectful player of all time. And with that, don't forget to keep your game sharp and your mouth sharper.